Hello and welcome to The Flash in a Flash. I'm Erik Smith reporting for Fangirl Magazine. Tonight I'm talking about the new episode of The Flash All-Star Team-Up. There are a lot of guest stars in this episode, and by a lot I mean 3. You have Emily Bett Rickards, who is Felicity Smoke, a character from Arrow. And we also have Brandon Routh, who plays Ray Palmer, aka the Atom, also from Arrow. And I think the biggest guest star on this episode, of course, was Emily Kinney, best known as Beth on The Walking Dead, and in this episode of The Flash, she plays Brie Larvin, also known as the Bug-Eyed Bandit. Of course, she's the bad guy in this episode. So what you've got here is Felicity and Ray coming to Central City so that the folks at Star Labs, particularly Cisco, can help Ray with his atom armor. And while they're there are a couple murders, a couple roboticists have been killed by bees, and we find out that they're robot bees being controlled by Brie Larvin. She's also a roboticist, and she was fired from Mercury Labs because she had created these little robot bees that were initially supposed to be used for agriculture and different things, but she was going to weaponize them. And the boss at Mercury Labs said, no, we don't do that. You're out of here. And now Brie Larvin wants revenge. So that's the basic superhero, supervillain plot that's going on. No metahuman villain in this one, just a mad scientist kind of character. But what this episode is really about is relationships and trust. First of all, just very simply, Felicity Smoke trusts her boyfriend Ray Palmer enough that she reveals to him that Barry Allen is the Flash and what's going on in Star Labs. Excuse me. And so that's a real simple, nice relationship. They have trust. Everything's good with them. Then you've got Iris West, who's dating Eddie Thawne, who is partners with Iris's father Joe on the police force. He knows Barry Allen is the Flash, but he's been sworn to secrecy. He can't tell Iris. She knows he's keeping something from her, and she basically, by the end of the episode, gives him an ultimatum. You either open up and tell me everything, or we're through. Personally, I think he should just try to talk to her and say, look, I promised somebody something. What kind of person would I be if I broke that promise? I wouldn't be the man that you fell in love with. I think we need to talk about this, work it out, but I'm not going to break a promise I made to someone. That's just what I think you should do. But anyway, so there's that trust issue that's sort of destroying a relationship. Then you have Barry, who knows that Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash. He and Joe know that. Barry wants to tell Cisco and Caitlin. Joe doesn't think that he should. Cisco and Caitlin have been working with Harrison Wells for a long time. He's their mentor and their hero, and Joe's just not sure where Cisco and Caitlin are going to fall if they learn the truth. Excuse me. So there's that going on. By the end of the episode, Barry does decide that he can trust Cisco and Caitlin, and he does bring them into the fold, tells them what's going on. Caitlin finds it very hard to believe, but Cisco's been having what he says are nightmares, but we know they're memories from the day that never happened, I think is the best way to put it. So he very easily believes that Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash because he's been having these visions that not only is Wells the Reverse Flash, but he kills Cisco. So he's ready to believe this. Not my favorite episode. Emily Kinney was fine as Brie Larvin, and the little robotic bees were kind of cool. But bee attacks are something we've seen. This is a character from the comics, so it's not like they just made it up, but I know there was an episode of Smallville where someone controlled bees. I believe it was Smallville. there was an episode of Reaper, not a superhero show, but still a genre show, where somebody controlled insects. I think it was specifically bees, but at the very least it was insects. So it's that part's something we've seen before. They're pushing the whole Reverse Flash thing forward, as we approach the season finale. So, but I don't know that it really. I don't know that it really did move the story forward too much. Basically, at the beginning, Barry wants to tell Cisco and Caitlin. Joe's not sure. By the end, they've decided to tell them. And that's kind of it. So it's a tiny step forward, in my opinion. Overall, not the best episode of the show, but not a horrible episode. It's still a great show. You get lots of action. The characters, the cast, always great. The Atom, I don't watch Arrow, so I don't know what he does on that show. In The Flash, he just seemed kind of like a low-rent Iron Man, because he hasn't worked all the kinks out of his armor. I don't believe he shrunk. I think they're still, as a matter of fact, at the end of the episode, he thinks that he realizes instead of going bigger with his power source, he needs to go smaller with the armor, I think is how he put it. So this may be the key. Pardon me, we have another Flash fan here. This may be the key to the Atom starting to shrink. But I don't know. Wasn't really thrilled with the character. Brandon Routh is fine. Not a big fan, but I don't dislike him. He's just sort of there. So that's it. That was All-Star Team Up, tonight's episode of The Flash. I'm Erik Smith for Fangirl Magazine. Be sure to check out other videos on Fangirl's YouTube channel. Check out the Fangirl Magazine website. Listen to Fangirl Radio. And I think that's it from me and the kitty. And we'll see you next time.